We are recording. Hi,
Hello, hello. Of
Jose. Thanks for joining.
course, thanks for having me. I want to
Can you
apologize
play
again,
the music? Can you play the music that was playing in the background first?
Baby
I
Shark.
was waiting. The baby shark,
Shark.
just to get the cash flow going. Baby shark.
Here, bring me Baby Shark. Let's play a little Baby Shark. Oh no, this one slowed down. So we
Your
got a
your
little.
daughter, your daughter's choice.
Mm-hmm. There you go, Baby Shark. So
Well, cheers.
yeah,
I guess we're just gonna have a little discussion over coffee, and
I
yeah,
love it. So tell me,
great.
where are you at today? Are you still in Mexico or are you back in California?
I'm in Mexico. I'm in Playa del Carmen. I'm about to. We're leaving this house Sunday, and then I'm getting a little road trip down south, and then coming back to California pretty soon. Because there's clients there. Things are opening back up again, so I feel like I need to be there to see how I can help the business owners,
Yeah.
restaurants, salons, and which is part of my clients. And so I'm excited to go back. Actually, I just want to be like hands on. Like I just want to be ready there to support them in any type of way that I can. So but yeah, thanks for joining. So
So
I invited Jose. We should, I guess for our clients, for our friends that don't know you, how about you introduce yourself? I think everybody knows me
yeah, of course. So
on
this
this
is
side of the world.
Zavala, ZTX Advisors. We're based out of Houston, Texas. We're a 100% virtual firm. So I'm actually testing out the studio today, the studio setup with the background and everything today.
Nice,
I'm
nice,
excited. But yeah, we deal with online business coaches and fitpreneurs, so fitness coaches. That's kind of where our vertical is. We also deal heavily in real estate. So those are our two verticals that we like to work with. And yeah, I mean, we're all about helping and trying to make sure that our biggest value prop is tax planning.
yeah,
So business coaches make a lot of money, a lot of money, and expenses are usually minimum, and so their bills are 30, 40, 50,000 sometimes. So if we could help them
yeah.
get that into 30, 40, 50%, like why not, So
Nice. Good job. Good job
yeah.
on that. Yeah, our clients are mostly service industry, hospitality, hair salons or barbershops, um,
Mhm.
restaurants, and then we have some service industry like architects, and then definitely just individual tax and business tax and tax planning and bookkeeping for most industries. So we try to stay in our vertical because that's our specialty. But yeah, any client is also welcome.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
No,
not
don't get me
really
wrong.
just any client. Like I was send the other ones to you, and you said it was okay. That's
Yeah, no, I mean,
perfect.
we have transportation, we have some yeah, we've got clients all over the spectrum as well. So, it's just that's who I guess the whole riches and niches term that they talk
Right.
about all the time. So that's kind of who we target. But yeah, I mean, I've got a few restaurants, I've got a few like club promoters, and I've got a big time nightclub down here in Houston. That's a client of mine. So and
Yeah.
they're about to open back up, and so they're already opened up at
Right.
like 25% capacity. So
Yeah.
it's been
Uh,
it's been interesting.
it's been. How was your tax season? Was it intense? This has been the most intense tax season for me for about all
Bianca,
the
I'm
years that
not
I've
gonna
been.
lie to you. I'm dreaming work. I haven't dreamt work since I first started my first season as preparing taxes. I was working at a CPA firm, and I just got thrown into it. I'm dreaming taxes. I'm dreaming PPP loans. I'm dreaming the PPP forgiveness calculator. I'm literally like I'm having dreams about just that dang spreadsheet. It's just like, oh my goodness, it has been. I just it has been interesting, but
It's it's interesting. Sorry to stop you there, but it's been interesting. Like on our end, like how do we feel about it, right? Because it's like we get the clients' emails and we get we're like, we need it tomorrow, we need it now. I need money, I need it, and here we are on the back, like trying to do everything as fast as we can, and then like trying to survive the pandemic, trying to work with the team, work remote, and just trying to stay focused. And then you're dreaming PPP application. You were like, oh shoot, I forgot to send that. Like, wake up in the middle of the night, like, you
Yeah.
filed something. Yeah, I've done that. I've done that.
Yeah. Oh, I can't tell you. Like for me, it's been a crazy one. It really
Right.
has. And
Let's
so
move on to the slide. Sorry, because we had to make it short and quick for our
yeah,
friends
yeah,
that
of
are going to
course.
watch it later. So thank you for joining me, Jose. Part of TaxSmart, and then Jose being in Texas, I thought it was like super great. We have a lot of good advice for everybody that's going to watch this later. And let me just move on to the next slides here. I guess it will be tips and share a bit stories, how we helped our clients through this past 4 months, right? Um, I guess I'll just go real quick through the CARES Act. I think we're over this already. I'm ready for a real vacation. Um, so most of our clients got the stimulus payment, the 1,200, the PPP payroll protection. We hosted some webinars. We talked about the sole proprietorships that were able to qualify for this PPP loan. So we were able to get a few clients, more than a few clients, to get the PPP loan. They were so happy. It was like, I was just like, that made my days even more. Like, when my clients were texting me pictures of like, look, Bianca, I have negative bank accounts. And I was like, I felt like it was like you know, it was kind of like I could do something to help. So it was like when we just got somebody like $12,000 and they got deposit, all of a sudden it was like from negative to positive, and I was like, that was my reward. I was like that when I really see a business in need and saw that money, I was just like, okay, this is what I like to do, what I do, because somehow I am helping small businesses, providing jobs, getting the business owner, those entrepreneurs that have so much and they need so much, and we are here to support them, financially and to guide them in the right direction. So that was pretty great. Do you have any stories?
Yeah. We there was a few clients of ours that were just we had one actually that sticks out. She was a yoga instructor and she's like, I'm out of money. I'm out of money completely. And we were able to help her with the PPP, kind of get the PPP and get some well, first get her on unemployment. Actually, no, she didn't get the PPP. She went on unemployment, and that was just a lifesaver for her because she was just like, "Oh, thank you," because
Yeah,
she was a independent contractor, and normally they don't qualify for that. So we helped her, walk through that. Another client of mine who's a music promoter, he same thing. He just his income went down to zero because all the nightclubs closed. All the nightclubs closed. So he was like, "What do I do?" Now he had a little bit of residual income coming in from YouTube, but he's like, "Jose, like I'm sitting here on top of the world and making a lot of money. All of a sudden I'm down to nothing." And so
yeah.
we actually worked with him to get him the PPP loan for his for his business, and that helped him out a lot. And that's going to help him kind of float a little bit at least till things start opening up again. He can start really kind of getting some of these bands and stuff back.
Money
Yeah,
flowing. Yeah, and so we did this cash flow because we like. I think what it was the most important for my take from the PPP loan is for small business owners and self-employed individuals is how important it was to have their bookkeeping in order. We worked so hard to trying to put their financials together from 2019 to be able to guide them in the right direction, making sure that they were applying for the for the correct amount, and make sure that they're not going to have penalties and they're not going to be audited, and it was just like tax season, reconciling banks, making sure we're not missing the deadlines. And then it was like working as fast as we can. And then the PPP money ran out and it was like chaotic. It was like that silence. I don't know if it happened in your office, but to us, it was kind of like, working. And all of a sudden it's like, money's gone. Like, what do we do now? Like, it was, but thank God they approved a different
that was
package. And it was like,
when the money ran out. Every single one of our clients. So as soon as all this started coming out, we had other, we got all the books in order. We had everything. We had applications. We had numbers. Everything ready for them to the moment it applied to apply. And a lot of them applied like immediately, and the majority of them didn't. The first for some reason didn't get funded in the first round,
yeah,
and
yeah,
and so that was the worst because they're just like, Jose, what am I going to do? I applied, And, I'm just like, I don't have an answer for you. So yeah, whenever they
I
announced
know.
the second round of funding, I was like, oh, and then, they, and then they're changing these laws
Every
daily,
day.
to like, daily. And so like I'll send an email out and then I have to send an email the next day. Hey, actually what I just said was wrong. So
Oh,
let's go
that's
take a
it.
step back.
It didn't really help you, shine. It was kind of like, oh, sorry about that. Like they just changed the laws again. But I think it was all over the news. It wasn't really like, we were not knowing what was happening. Even till today with the PPP forgiveness, right? What is it like? We still don't know the right answer.
No,
Let me just go through the slides very quick.
do
So,
it.
we did the unemployment benefits. So a lot of gig workers, self-employed individuals. I was helping a lot of people just go apply, get this, get that. There's money, apply for this, apply for that. So that was really good for our clients. Like just get those little, $100. Apply for PPP loan, get the EIGL loan, and then the unemployment benefits. That was just something to get you by until now. Luckily in California now things are opening back up. Restaurants are opening, salons are opening, so they're busy working and doing that. But in the meantime, we were able to get a little bit of the cash flow there. There was this money available to just get you take care of your personal life first, right? Because it's all for individual, and then we'll deal with the business part. So
But
moving
yeah,
into the cash
survive
flow
now,
part here. Yeah,
survive and go with it. So
exactly. Because it got to the point where like we as a team decided like, okay, let's even with the clients, like who needed the most help, like who's gonna if we see cash flow in this, is like your companies are really like we have to make executive decisions that are like, okay, everybody's important, yes, but
mhm.
there's other people that need us the most now. It was really hard to explain that sometimes, like the patient, especially in this pandemic, like everybody, somehow got affected financially. So it was like some got affected more. So we had to like get those out first, then that. So it was like directing like an orchestra at the office. It was like, you got that one, you got that one. That one is that how did you handle this?
So for us, it's the same thing. We looked at the industries we knew were going to get hit first, and we prioritized them. And they were the first ones to like, hey, here's this, here's that. Let's get you going. Make sure to get you set up because I know your income's going to get shot. And then the ones that we looked at our clients, the ones that we knew were going to take a hit, but we're still okay. We tell them, hey, we're here for you, but just so you know, for this like week and a half, we're focusing on these people who literally have zero income coming in now, have stopped working, and so and we'll get to you guys. And so it worked out pretty well because I mean our clients were really awesome and really understanding and like, okay,
Yeah,
that's fine. And they know we were working. It's not like we were just sitting around. I wasn't just
right.
sitting around drinking beer doing nothing. Like they saw the emails going out, the message threads between us and everything. So they were able to see all that and see like, hey, we're working. It's just we're getting to that point. So
Yeah. Yeah. So we because we had the restaurant industry, right? So it was really devastating for me to see a bunch of restaurants close down, and it was real panic. Or hair salons, right? People depend on the daily cash flow, depend on a- and I literally had a day of like, I just need to retract, see what's happening, how am I going to help them, because I have to be mentally. It was so challenging for me, keep me motivated, get the clients, you know, stay calm, get them the money, get the team. It was just so much. I was like feeling like I need help after this.
yeah, no,
But we're still going strong. We still have another season coming up in July.
yeah,
So
we had to, we have to step up and take care of them. So
for sure. So this cash flow webinar was more of like I wanted to do for like, you know, this pretty much like the daily cash business per se, like restaurants and the hair salons, people that need the cash fast. And it's been like I love to I guess teach per se. Like at TaxSmart, I want everybody to be like, TaxSmart to tax plan, to be like think ahead, to you gotta always be thinking. Taxes is like the last bit of the like the accounting cycle. So but you have to have a proper set of accounting, right? You have to make all the right decisions during the year. and at the end, you just file your tax. That is like the last step. So that's always what I tell the clients, like, this is just the last bit. Let us help you through the year. This is the final report you submit. And on the cash flow tips that we had for our clients, it was you and I made this list the other day, so I guess we would just go through it. We have like 2 pages of the cash flow tips, so whomever is watching, just take a screenshot. And this is some of the like basic tips that we probably can give you. I guess you want to go through half of the sheet and I'll go half of the sheet.
Yeah, for sure. This is going to be something you can implement now in order for you to be able to help with your cash flow. That's the most important thing right now is we've got, as you're going back to your business and you've got limited cash coming in, 25% capacity, 50% capacity, whatever it is, that money's you got some money coming in, but you've got bills stacking up and everything. So that's going to be a good way for you to help stretch those dollars as much as you can, and good tips moving forward as well to have it. So the first one is going to be your receivables. Who owes you money? So traditionally with cash-based business, restaurants, salons, you get paid after the service is done. This may not necessarily be for you, but at the same time, where maybe not receivables will be, but setting up online payments or setting up maybe credit card payments. You don't accept credit card. You don't accept, that may be something to look into accepting to make it a little bit easier, because people are still strapped for cash, and maybe they don't have the cash to pay you, but maybe they can float it on their credit card. And so that's something you want to implement that into your system in order to be able to start collecting. Yeah, you're going to get hit with credit card fees, but I would much rather make $50 and minus my credit card fees than make nothing because somebody doesn't have cash and they can't come into the bank, or not to the bank, into your establishment. So setting up those credit card stripes and letting them swipe it, and that's going to be really, really huge in expanding to your offerings and making sure that you can service more people, because people want to get out. People want to get out now. I mean, I know I'm stir crazy. I want to get out of the house as well. and, and if you don't have the cash, but you still have a little bit of money on the credit card, hey, let's go splurge a little bit on a meal, or let's go, let me go get a haircut. Let me go get something. Make sure you got that credit card present in order to collect that money.
Right. If it's a cash business, you see that, especially like with small little mom and pops, they just take cash, and it's like, no, we need to. We're coming out of this pandemic, like using technology, right? So sign up for, any of the services, Square, PayPal, Stripe. You can have it on your phone. You can, don't need to buy a POS system, right? Let's talk about that, because this is a lot of like small businesses don't want to, sign up because they have to buy a $500, $1,000, $2,000 POS system. But for a small, shop, you can just download it on your phone, get the little attachment, collect payment, it goes straight to your bank account. So there's like no reason why at this point you should not be offering, payment solutions, online payment solutions.
You hit it right on the head. I mean, how easy is it? Somebody gets somebody comes in, gets a haircut. Okay, here you go. Swipe it. Next, makes it easy on you, easy on them, and you get paid.
Instant
And
cash.
that would come in.
Instant cash. Even if you take the fee, completely fine. Those bank fees are a tax deduction anyway, so it's not going to cost you anything. So, and that's instant cash for next day, right?
Yeah, it costs of doing business. And again, I would rather get $50 minus a bank fee than nothing.
Right.
So
what about discounts?
I think that's,
giving some discounts on services, like it's like
I think that's I mean, that's going to be really powerful, because you want to make sure to attract more clientele, and a lot of times it is those discounts, those promotions, because again, we go back to the same situation where you don't want to get credit card because you have to pay the fees. Okay, you offer a 50% off a haircut, or 25% off of coloring, or or maybe do like a free touch up with purchase of like a haircut, or maybe like if you're a barber, a free beard trim with a price with a kind of a haircut. Yeah, you're losing out on what you're going to pay for, what somebody paid for that, but you're getting money in the door. You're getting that in, and especially with now that you're going back in, you want to get as much people as you can in there to maximize up until what they say you can open, until to kind of get you that money.
Right. And
Little bit of some money, and you put it right there. Some money is better than no money.
some money is better than no money. And I really like, just don't not forgetting how much of an entrepreneur you are. You always have to be creative. I know you stopped maybe that way, maybe for the past 3 or 4 years because you were comfortable. But guess what? Pandemic came and now you have to be creative. Now you have to like come up with discounts and promotions. Look at what the people are doing around you, because I have, I've got restaurants and I have different salons, and I see how they're all being creative, and I'm like, that's so great. Like people are like, closing restaurants, doing, now they're all of a sudden they're offering different services that they maybe thought they didn't offer before, but now guess what? Now you do. Like no DoorDash, well now you have to. So it was like, it was really great. Or what I've seen also was like with WhatsApp, like now you can offer services. I know like Facebook, Instagram, now they're having like additional, services for people to buy online. So look into that too. And then we have like payment plans, right? So I guess this will apply for somebody that has reoccurring accounts payable, right?
Mhm.
Paying your vendors.
Well, actually, I think the payment plans are going to be more for, let's say, if you provide, if let's say you're selling a tangible product. So let's say you're selling, you build a course and you want to sell it for $1,000. Okay. But somebody doesn't have the $1,000. Okay, well then offer some kind of maybe 3-month pay, or pay it in 6 months, or maybe do like, okay, if you pay it in cash, it's $850, but if you do a payment plan, it'll be over 2-3 months of $1,000. Or to equal $1,000, or something like that. If maybe not these cash businesses, but if you're offering products, having some kind of payment plan, and it's really easy. Connect PayPal. They can use PayPal credit, and then they can pay you, and then they can pay PayPal credit, no interest for whatever amount, depending on what you pay there. You know what I mean? So just kind of
Mhm.
getting creative with some of that as well. But on the other side as well, you were saying with the payables, that's going to be something as well. If you owe vendor money, you said it right. Go ask them for a payment plan. If you've been working with a vendor for years and years, especially you restaurants, you're working with vendors for years and years, the same meat people that you're using somebody, especially if you're using somebody locally and they know you and you guys have that relationship. It's okay to ask for a little bit of help. You're still going to pay them, but
Right.
and just on their end, they want to get paid. So if you're like, hey, I can't pay you, I owe you $6,000. I can't pay you $6,000 right now, but can I make maybe like a deposit right now of $2,000, $3,000, and then pay you the rest throughout? Most of the time, they're okay with it because
Right.
the relationship is established, so they know you're going to pay, and two, that helps you kind of ease it a little bit more.
And they're in the same way too. Like they rather take some money in the small payments than no money. So it's like cash flow for their company as well. And this is on the service agreement and payment agreement, right? So this could apply for like a service business as well, not just restaurants. Know this. So make sure you have your clients sign up an agreement that can say, we will, very specific, we'll take a deposit of, if you said in a service that is $1,000, you will take a deposit, 50% deposit, and then you can make 3 more payments. You have to write that contract that every month after the 50% deposit, you with the credit card authorization, that you can withdraw, you know, certain amount every month. So as long as you have it in writing, that's your contract and your payment plan authorization to take money out of the bank account. So if you were selling, going back to your example of selling um, an online service, right? Because for me, I love those classes. So if I was, as a consumer, if I was like looking like, oh my God, I've been wanting to buy this course that has been like $1,000, and now all of a sudden they have like $500, I'll be like, oh my God, I'm saving 50. I'm saving 50%. And not only that, I'm going to pay $250, and then I get to make it in payments. It will make it like so easy for me just to buy that. So yeah, I get what you're saying.
You
Uh,
want to have service agreements because in the off chance that these people don't pay you, then you have that contract that states that and then you have a way to get your money back.
right,
If you want to go after them,
right.
if you want to go
Contract.
after. Mhm.
Yeah, having the contracts, and just for some of the clients that probably are listening, when we talked about the payment plans for your vendors, like if you're on a net 15, means you pay every 2 weeks, or a net 30, you can always, if you're on a net 15, negotiate a net 30, or a net 45, you're in net, 30, negotiate a net 45, net 60. If you've had good, it's like having credit, right? You have a good credit history with your vendor, I'm sure they're going to be flexible somehow and give you some time, extra time to pay, especially now during this time.
Yeah,
And
especially if you have that relationship and you're a good payer. If you net 15 and you pay within the 15 days, there's no reason why they're not going to
another 2 weeks, right? Another two
that
weeks,
their
like
extra
there should
15
be a
days pay.
negotiation.
There's no
Yeah,
reason. Yeah.
yeah. You listed this one last time. It was like I think I asked this question. What is your advice on the business credit card flow and expense, right? Because then now we're going to have a lot of businesses not having the cash flow. They're going to have, a line of credit, or they're going to have a credit card, and they're going to, want to use that money to pay for some expenses to keep the business alive. So I guess any tips you want to share on that?
Yeah. So I think having a business credit card is great because that pushes, that at least extends how long you have to pay. Now, of course, if you have, you can pay interest if you hold it on there, but this is going to come really in handy to for before you even start doing that, making sure you going through and see what expenses are actually you need to pay, because you don't want to just pay, just because it's an expense you want to put on the credit card. But having a credit card is not a bad deal, because you can pay it, you pay the expense, and then it gives you time to collect the cash and then you to pay the credit card. So that gives you an extra 15, 20 days sometimes on top of whatever the net 15, net 30 in order to make that payment. So that can extend it a little bit more. It's just you need to be careful and make sure not to abuse it, and not to forget that, hey, I've got this bill coming up. Just because you paid it on the credit card doesn't mean it's not due yet. You have to pay it. It's just making sure that it just gives you a little bit more time to collect that cash in order to pay it later.
In the payroll expense, I added this review hours for employees. I know this is like with the PPP loan, but what if some people didn't get the PPP, or didn't apply for the PPP, or didn't want to? So reviewing the employee hours, I know like when it's like money's good, right? We just like everything's floating, everything's going out, and when you start looking at your cash closely as a business owner, you're kind of like, okay, where can I cut some codes? And it's not like we're going to cut people hours, but we want to be more diligent about like, let me actually review how my team is actually doing. Let me see if I can is this project that usually takes 10 hours, is it really 10 hours? Can we do it in 5 hours? So I think this is going to reshape a lot of operations inside too. Reviewing
Yeah.
the employee hours, is it really, I mean, for example, I don't know, on a service, usually you trust your employees, right? Which is great. But I don't know about you, but lately I am be doing I'm like, well, how long did that take? Obviously for me, some businesses closing too, we lost some clients. So it's not like we're here having we're also having, a reduction of sales and income because of all of this. So I'm like, to really take you 1 hour to reply to 5 emails, really? We're all looking at the little pieces now.
Well, but I mean, that's true, because you want to make sure that your staff's times is optimized. If they're spending an hour responding to an email, that's not a good use of time, and you're paying them to essentially respond to an email that took an hour. While you trust your staff, at the same time, you want to make sure that they're optimized as much and cut in
Right.
any. If they're taking an hour to respond to an email, then there may be something. It may not just be them. It may be something operational, something that maybe there's a stopgap in your processes, or internally that's or it could be them as well. But that's where you can start to look at it. Okay, look at it a little bit more, making sure, hey, are they making me the money that we need to make?
And this
So
applies for any. This is just an example of a professional service industry, but like on a restaurant business, like how long did it take you to prepare this food? How long does it take you to deliver? How long is it, like everything is hours right now, right? So every hour that every minute that somebody's working, you already know that's money coming out of your pocket already to pay the people. So it's kind of like, as a business owner, you got to be like really paying attention to your finances right now, like really looking at where the money is actually going. And I think everybody right now is kind of like, oh my God, we used to do this. So, now we got now you're thinking like, I could have saved so much money if I was actually paying attention, or not save it, more revenue, by optimizing, like I said, our processes.
Yeah, look at it this way. I mean, you have a you know let's say you're paying you're a restaurant, but you pay your employees hourly. Then you want to make sure that you know what's their what rate are they turning tables around? What's their average guest size? You know, you want to take a look at those numbers to see, okay, you know, are they actually what's the revenue they're bringing in? Because if they worked, you know, a 6 hour shift and they only have four tables, you know what's going on, you know, and then a lot of times it's not their fault, but you know you want to take a look at that. That could be something like, okay, are they just providing bad service and these people are taking too long to get their food? And then maybe, okay, so then it's things like that that you can start to dive in a lot deeper into see it, you know. But I think it all starts with just look at the hours and what are they spending their time on.
Let me move to the next slide. So this is some of other cash flow tips we had. So, keeping an eye on your numbers, having a proper accounting procedures in place, have a bookkeeper, or you do your books, or you really need to pay attention now where, especially if you got the PPP loan money, right? So if you get these loans, now you really need to keep track because you have to show those reports, to get it forgiven. So you have to have a proper set of accounting. So if you do not have proper, then start one, or the best investment that probably you can do for your business is hire a bookkeeper to help you with this. An expense that most of business owners think is not necessary because they can handle it, but it's really not. It's essential. Like essential having an attorney, essential having your bookkeeper, essential having your mentors. It's like you need this is the people that are going to really hold you, and help you and advise you to get your business to another level. So this is like an essential expense.
Investment.
It's an essential expense that you should have. Start little, but eventually you get, as your business grows and you have a good advisor, you're just going to continue to escalate to a different income, and you're going to be able to have a better set of numbers, right? So you can actually take your business to a different place. Cost. What are you spending your money on? So then again, going back to the bookkeeping part, right? So if you have a really good set of numbers, you're going to be able to see where your money is going and analyzing it. So it's like so important. Reviewing your P&L with your advisor, and P&L is your profit and loss. I guess I'll give you some time to share some tips on this. Three
Well,
bullet
yeah,
points there.
yeah. I mean, you know, what are you spending your money on, and making sure that yeah, you know, when business is good, we may sometimes buy stuff that we don't need, but we're like, whatever, it's okay, you know. But now that business is not good, you got to take a look at it. Are you spending money? You know, are you paying for a service that you wanted to use and you just never canceled it? Cancel it. You know, but I think though working with a bookkeeper, like you say, essential. I think it's more of an investment. You know, everybody I talk to is like, look at it as an investment, not as an expense. Because when you're working with somebody, when you work with a fitness trainer, you spend money to them to make yourself better, healthier, fitter. So you're working with essentially a business coach. Not necessarily a business coach, but like, you know, this is what we do. We train, we get your books in order, we get everything. So it's an investment in your business to help you get to that next level. Because without it, you're gonna hit a certain peak. And yeah, you can grow, and don't get it wrong, but you're gonna have to learn by trial and error. And working with somebody that understands the language of business, you can mitigate a lot of those errors and making sure that you can grow a lot quicker and a lot more effectively and scale in a better way to where you don't spend a bunch of money and, you know, make that many mistakes. And so but yeah, I think review your profit and loss with your advisor is really important, because you need to see, because we see stuff that maybe necessarily you don't see. We see trends that maybe you don't necessarily see, and making sure that we, you know, working with you to help optimize, make sure that the money you're spending is actually you're getting the return on investment, which is again at the bottom of that ROI, your return on investment. So
And very important too is it's like you're gonna have this long-term relationship with this person advisor, right? And find that person that is specialized in your industry, because it's gonna be just such an easy talk. This person speaks your language, understands your frustration. Like I specialize in restaurants and hair salons. You need to buy product, you need to have this, you need to order food, you need to have the service, you have this. So it's easier for me to talk about, like, oh, let's talk about POS, let's talk about tips, let's talk about this. Like, if like a real estate investor, you want to talk to an accountant or a bookkeeper that specializes in your industry, because then it just flows easy. I think that's when people maybe like hire a service but they get frustrated because the communication isn't right, isn't flowing, and maybe you hire in the wrong, the wrong one. They don't speak your language. It's not in you're not a service. And I know like most of business owners go like referrals, right? So refer me to somebody that can help me, or referral, like the referrals are good, but also they need to be in your industry. Like it's, now online you can find, with us at Zero Advisors, we specialize in this. This is our industries. You can find somebody that's gonna, you know, is already trained in your industry. So it's gonna make it a lot easier for you
Mm-hmm.
to talk to and evaluate your cost. Is it necessary? you know, like you said, subscriptions. How many do you have? Netflix, Amazon, video, all of that. Pick one. Get rid of the other one.
Yeah, I had a client who was spending $100 for a delivery service a month for his dog, and I don't know what the heck you could spend $100 on a dog for, but you can apparently.
Well, probably
And
didn't have time to go, but now you can cut that service, save $100. Now you have free time to go buy the food and come back home.
food. It's like toys and activities. It wasn't even the food. Like the food, I understand, but it was like it's like a activity set for a dog. And I was like, "Are you kidding? Like, no, this can go. Like, this needs to go. Like, your income has shut down big time. This needs to go." Like,
Right. Getting
like
back to the essentials, right? You just getting back to
that.
what's really necessary for the business. You don't need to have that many more expenses, or especially like online, you sign up for so many things. The other day I did it for me and for the business too. Like I was seeing like, what am I subscribed to? Like I even like when the pandemic started, I even refinanced my car. I was like, whoa, like no, let me just start cutting expenses. Having a budget, do we write that down? Like having a budget, I think,
No,
having a budget, what is my, what are my basics? What are the basic needs of the business? What is the basic needs of the home? Just I don't need this, I don't need that, I can survive. This was luxury, this was not, can I cut here, call the credit cards to, like negotiate the interest rate, or gosh, like there's so many things you could do.
yeah, and yeah. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot out there. I mean, people are refinancing their homes right now because
Yeah,
of the interest rates. So it just do. Yeah, it's just figuring out the essentials. What do you
essentials.
need to spend your money on, and the stuff that you don't, hold off. Once business gets back up and running, then you can start to splurge again. But right now, you want to focus on what's important, and that's it.
Right. I think I put negotiating the net terms for your vendors again. I didn't realize it was a prior slide, which is fine. And the marketing strategy, who's your client? That I have, especially with the service industries, or I see a lot of people like trying to sell to the wrong clients. And I think marketing just like an attorney, just like a bookkeeper, like this is, you need to really have a strategy, like who's your client, who are you selling to? Don't waste time and energy trying to get this other clients when you kind of need to know who your client is. So on advertisement, on marketing, especially now that people are desperate, as business owners want to sell, you still need to know who your client is, because I can invest so much money on advertisement and marketing and paying promoters and paying this and paying that, but like, is it really giving you your return on investment? Is it really, 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 really working? And that is huge. Like, be careful with paid ads and this and that, like Google ads. Like if that's not where you're getting your clients are coming from, then give it a month, try maybe, and then try to work with a marketer, having a strategy, getting to know who is your customer, who's actually buying your product, your service.
Yeah, niches, riches, and niches. Find your niche and find who you want to serve. If you're
Mhm.
example real estate, you can go and try to open wide. I can help everybody. That's fine. What's going to set you apart? Now, if you're like, I specialize in first time home buyers, okay, you just turn your market is smaller, but now it's focalized. You become an expert in that market. So when people think of, oh, I need to go with Juan, who is the small, he specializes with first time home buyers, things like that. That's what you're going to want to do. And that's where to make sure to know who your client is and who you're selling to.
Another my family in Guatemala has a bakery. I'm gonna use me as an example. And I tell my aunt, like, she used, people used to open the business, they come and buy the bread and this and that. Well, doesn't happening anymore, right? And so my aunt keeps telling me like, oh well, everything's gonna go back to normal when we sell it. And I was like, no, this is not how it's gonna be normal again. So we're just gonna have to be creative, adaptable with the change. Just have to start trying to figure out what other ways of selling your product, your service. Like, it's just, we don't know yet if we're actually going to go back to normal. What are the new normals going to be? So stay flexible, I guess, with the change, right? Because that's how you're going to survive. Stay very, very flexible with the restaurant people or business owners I have. Some are, kind of like, not fine dining. They're like, we'll never do delivery. That we're not interested in. I remember all of those talks now. Well, and then it was, to my surprise, and actually I was happy for them that they decided to adapt to the change, right? So all of a sudden they're selling to go, pick up, delivery. And I was like, in Spanish we have this like no que no. Like, how do you translate that?
Oh,
Like, I
oh no.
was like, no que no. Like, I thought they were never gonna do it. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, delivery service. And I was like, but that's great. That's how actually everything should be. That's,
That's the true side of an entrepreneur. That's the true side of an
exactly,
entrepreneur. I mean,
exactly.
we pivoted our business. Me personally, I had to pivot it. We lost a big amount of clients. We had some that we just couldn't save; they had to close up. But it's all about pivoting and seeing the opportunity and going for it and being flexible. You always got to be flexible and being able to make that move. Yeah, like if you're a restaurant owner, start using DoorDash, start using pick takeout, start doing what you can to bring that in, being flexible and being creative. That is a true entrepreneur right there.
Right. Yeah. Don't forget that you are an entrepreneur. You have a business. You open this up, and then you have to customer first, right? Whatever they need is. You find there's a problem, you find a solution, you sell the service. So let's not forget that. That's basic. That is like probably the cash flow tip of the day. Be adaptable, sell your service. Have a good advisor that helps you plan, keep track of your expenses, analyze your P&L, budget, cash flow planning, understanding your cash flow. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, do we really want to talk about this?
Not really. Not really, because they're talking about that they're coming out with they're coming out with some more FAQs today or anytime now. They're going to release some more FAQs. So this stuff is
We did the same
yeah, we both did. This
thing.
is keeping me up at night is the PPP loan forgiveness. So I'm just going to tell you this: you have the PPP loan and you're not working with an advisor, get somebody that understands it, because the forgiveness portion just keeps getting more complex. They're making it easier, but it is a complex situation. And where there was things that we thought, we could do from the beginning, now they're telling us no. So you need to have somebody that's on top of it, that knows what they're doing. That's just going to be that's what I'm going to say. Most important thing, get with somebody like Bianca that understands it, that knows it, and that can help you make sure you get the maximum amount forgiven without it being fraud. Because
Yeah,
there's a fine line between what you're trying to do to get it forgiven and fraud. And you need to make sure to get with somebody that understands what you can do, what you can't do, to make sure you get it forgiven. You can't just go and fake a bunch of employees and pay. There's different stipulations. You need to make sure you know what you're doing to get the maximum amount forgiven. And at the end of the day, if it's not forgiven, it's still cheap money. It's 1% interest rate. Like you can't
right.
get that anywhere. So that's going to be the most important thing for the forgiveness, is get with somebody like Bianca that understands it. I say myself too, but I'm not really taking on any new clients for PPP forgiveness. I don't know if you are or not. I'm not for the forgiveness portion. So
Not the forgiveness portion. Probably we will just help our clients that currently have, just make sure of that. But like when it comes to, it's interesting how like going back to like now businesses probably did see the need of having an advisor, or like a financial advisor, or like an accountant ready. So everybody was like, oh, we don't know what to do, and just start calling advisors, or start calling it. Not only was like middle of tax season, all of a sudden like people being, like you said, not taking like it feels bad saying no because people need help, right? But also you want to give them quality of service. So I'm sure there's plenty of people, again, plenty of accountants, plenty of good advisors. Make sure you get into one. Some firms are at capacity. You and me probably like taking a few, I'm not probably taking forgiveness applications on only to the clients that probably already served, or that are our current clients. Is yeah. Because it comes to
That's
like
correct.
we're gonna have to. I guess one advice for the PPP or people that just got the PPP loan was or is we just helped a last minute client last week, which is great. Really, we got it approved within the same day. They got approved the same day for the PPP loan.
Wow.
And the first thing I said was, as soon as you get the money, open a new bank account and put that money there. We will track it from there. So, and then they don't have proper accounting. So what I said was, this is my advice: was put the money there. We'll start your proper accounting for this bank account, and then we will track every expense you have, because that will make it so much easier for us to apply for the PPP application. Know exactly, and pretty much it was kind of like, do not spend the money unless we know where you're spending money, or let's plan how you're going to spend the money, because that's literally what you have to do. Like, get with your CPA, get with your advisor. You need to plan the expense of the money. Don't I know everybody's like trying to pay bills and trying to do that, but no, like that money you cannot touch without the help of an advisor. So
Yeah, I think you hit it right the nail on the head there. We told all our clients, get a separate bank account, and anytime you need to use that money, transfer it into the business account. That's going to be the easiest way to track that, and then we'll get you what you need to transfer every single time, but transfer that amount over into it, because if you just dump it into the business account, it's going to be really hard
yeah, yeah.
to track it, and it's going to take a lot more time to do it. So yeah, I think that's Bianca, that's amazing advice. And get with somebody, please,
Mm-hmm.
uh that understands this, and not just somebody that's looking to make a little bit of money, but that understands the forgiveness portion and can guide you and making sure that you know if somebody tells you, hey, get the loan just to get it, like, make sure you need it as well, because that's part of the
Yeah.
certification, is making sure you need it. But because sometimes some businesses, I had a couple clients who were like, hey, I need to get the PPP loan, it's free money. Hold on. Yeah,
Mm,
your business has gone down a little bit, but do you really want to deal with all that and that extra expense and everything that had to do all that? I was like, you're fine right now. You're fine. Your business took a hit, but you're still okay. And oh no, you have a point. Like, there's no need for that. Like, yeah, and that's what working with somebody that knows what, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but understands and knows what they're doing, because
right.
it's that advice. It's that advice to make sure, hey, you don't need this right now. You don't. Now,
There's
if you want to get
businesses
it,
giving the money back. Yeah.
yeah.
There's some other businesses it's just giving the money back. There's no penalty, no questions asked. SBA will take the money back. So if your business does not need the money and you don't want to deal with it,
Yeah.
just hand it back. There's plenty
Mhm.
of other small businesses that need, this little cash flow that actually, do need it. Yeah, the PPPs, it's madness, really madness.
Yeah, this is a whole different beast. Like, this is my nightmares. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is my
Yeah.
nightmares. Like, I wake up sometimes and this is what I dream about. Is, like I said, the calculation, and the 11 pages long, and yeah. Anyways,
But
save your
we will
cash.
get through it.
Yeah,
What
save your cash.
what's like your last cash flow tip or piece of advice for our
The
clients?
last one I would say is going to be probably just make sure that what you spending your money on is bringing you an investment. It's bringing value to you. So yeah, you have your operating expenses you have, but if you're working with somebody, again, like you said, if you're working with a marketing person, make sure that you're getting that money back in sales. Make sure you're actually, and hold them accountable. Don't be afraid. I know a lot of, sometimes, especially like with our community, the Latinos or Latinas, sometimes they're a little bit hesitant to, like, no, yeah, me cobró esto, they charged me this, but No, hold these people accountable. Don't be afraid that if it's not there, fire them, get rid of them, find somebody else that can give you that return on investment, and making sure that they're giving you what you need and not just over
Yeah.
promising you stuff.
Right, right. It does take a bit for marketing investment to actually see results, right? But
Oh
then
yeah,
again, basically it's like who going back to who's your client, who's your perfect client, who who's been your best client. Take that best client, get to know your best client, and then you find more of those clients. Who's your best customer? Yeah.
well,
Um,
same thing as well, with like tax, if you have somebody that's just if you're running a business and you're doing everything on your own. Now if you don't want to pay for it, that's a different story, but if you're open to having an advisor, you want to make sure somebody, like you said, go back, that knows your industry. If you got two different people, if you come to me and you're like, hey, I'm a restaurant, I'd be like, I no, that's not my specialty. Like, now if
mhm.
you really want to work with me, that's fine. That's fine, but I'm going to recommend you automatically. But hey, Bianca, I've got this person. Can you help them out? Because it's just, you make sure you find somebody that's in the industry you're working, because they know the ins and outs. They know the problems, the pain points you have. They know it. They already know it, and they know how to solve it.
Right.
And
Yeah.
again,
Sometimes even without you explaining it, right? That person will know what to do because they've seen that before. So it's like, oh, got it. The problem. I got it. No,
yeah.
no need to explain. I already know. I already know
As
what
soon
it
as
hurts.
you come up with something, oh yeah, don't worry about that.
No way.
I
No
got
way.
that. Where to you it's the end of the world. To us, I've seen it already. I know exactly what
I
to
think
do.
that's been our magic word at TaxSmart this season. It's like, oh, don't worry, we got it. It's like,
Yeah,
we got it. Like,
that's
don't worry.
funny. That's
It's
been
like,
ours too.
yeah, it's like, don't worry, we got this. Like, just leave it. Just a little. We just be a little patient. Just give us a few days, but we got this. There's, but don't worry. That's been like the one. Yeah, yeah. I guess just closing words. I don't know. Reach out to us if you have questions. Reach out to your advisor if you already have one. Um, Emails probably work best. Everybody's busy trying to respond. A little bit of patience, and yeah,
Oh, I just want
we
to say, Bianca, thank you for having me. This is
thanks. This
this
has
is
been
awesome.
great.
This was fun. I love talking about this stuff. Nobody's talking about this. Everybody's talking about how to get the PPP, but no one's talking about cash flows. So thank you for this. This was
Yeah,
amazing.
great, good. Well, we'll continue to have more coffee
Oh
meetings.
yeah,
How about
let me know.
that?
Love it. I
Cheers.
love it.
Okay.
Here.
Bye.
All right, bye guys.